back to another episode of the Mining Market Signal. My name is Seth, and you are watching on the Mind Your Biz channel. What? Serpent X Tech is here? Bro, I missed your live event, and I feel really bad about that. Client work has, basically taken over my life. I feel like I'm never going to sleep again. It's good to see the gangs all here. By the way, this is a live show. If you make comments on your way in, of course I'm going to interact with you. I'm not just waiting for some big fat super chat to only talk about what people who pay me want to talk about. This show is for you. Please do be active, ask questions, answer questions if you can. I see Bitcoin Jake, our beloved mod, actually our only active mod right now in the comment section. Thank you for being here, brother. Greg Moravik is in the house. Next Era Gamer, Emmanuel Namseth, and David the Jimmy Thing, as well as Alex Burton saying, buy the dip, son. It's true. And Serpent X Tech says, sorry if I overlap. No, on the contrary, guys. Big community event that Serpent X Tech helped to wrangle and get going for the Ion community. Very important. We're doing our typical news coverage. So we got to stick together. We got to try to support each other as much as we can, especially as GPU miners and people who are interested in the proof of work side of cryptocurrencies. It's hard enough as it is, right? Without support, we can try to support each other. We can be there for each other. So no, you didn't step on my toes at all, brother. Not one bit. Guys, without further ado, right? I'm doing all this intro stuff. Let me introduce you to a little thing I like to call the Fear and Greed Index. Let's refresh the page and see exactly what that is for today. Down. Oh, falling off a cliff. Yesterday, 50. Today, 27. Ooh, I smell fear. And let me tell you, it smells good. Let's jump back in, take a look at this. So we got a current score of 27. That's firmly in the category of fear. It's not extreme fear yet. We're heading that direction right now. And it's because of this precipitous dip in cryptocurrencies. We got plenty of news to cover, plenty of potential reasons why people could be feeling so fearful. And not the least of which we'll start off with. But for right now, let's take a look at the trend on the Fear and Greed Index. It's been a crazy roller coaster ride, right? The last couple of weeks, we've been outside of a very heavy greed and kind of more leaning towards neutrality or fear, dipping into fear and then kind of ranging and crabbing sideways in neutrality. People are not totally certain what's going to happen, and we haven't had a very clear indicator that we're going to go parabolic with Bitcoin or Ethereum or the major tentpole cryptocurrencies that everybody kind of keeps in their stable, their basket of investments, right? Or call investments. So definitely a bit of an issue. Alex Burton chimes in and says, great time to keep mining and stack those sats or guays, whatever you're into. LOL. Hey, I totally hear you there. And you've heard me say on this channel, guys, when we're in this sort of in-between area, it's not very clear that we should react against people's fear and get ourselves a little bit greedy, or react against people's greed and get maybe ourselves a little bit cautious and maybe fearful, right? Trying to make plans based on what everybody else is feeling, right? When they zig, we zag. Again, not financial advice, but if you do everything the crowd does, then, what happens when they run off a cliff, right? When we get to a blow off top at the end of a bull market, you run off a cliff with them, you get wrecked, you can't recover the best parts of your profit based on what you've been doing, whether mining or just investing, right? Or trying to trade, right? Trying to get some kind of profit somewhere. So hey, we got Sandor B in the house as well saying, hello. Bitcoin Jake says, nice, near 100 on the likes. Smash it. I cannot disagree. The man tells no lies. You really should smash it. But is that advice? Yes. Smash like button. Very good advice. Is the rest of the show advice? Never. That's not what we do around here. Let me jump out of the way. Let's talk about this Fear and Greed Index a little bit more, guys. I view this as a bit of a counter indicator. A lot of us are like-minded here. We see that when people are very euphoric, way up here riding high, we're making our plans to take profits, whatever that means for us. Everybody's got a different situation, right? So taking profits for one person may mean putting some of their cryptos into a stable peg currency like USDC or something, taking it off exchange and saying, okay, that was the amount that I wanted to trade. I'm happy with the coin that I have right now. So now I take whatever it was that I wanted to trade with and I place it over into cold storage. Maybe that's what taking profits looks like for you. And then for others still who are okay with KYC or have already KYC'd on some exchanges, they may want to take profits by actually selling some cryptocurrency, which personally, I'm not a big fan of. But for some people, that's what it looks like. Selling the cryptocurrency, paying the taxes because they've created a taxable event by selling that cryptocurrency and getting fiat, and then taking that fiat and paying off student loans or buying a new car or buying a new house or something. It's very different for every single person. So obviously you got to figure that out for yourself. But when we see that extreme greed in the markets, it's a great time to be thinking very clearly about what your plan is. And if you don't have one, get one, right? Like, do not fly on the highs of euphoria without a plan, because that's when we see these little dips in market sentiment. And these are not rational markets. These are markets that are filled with people, and people don't do rational things. They make decisions out of fear and greed. So when they start to feel fearful, they sell off. And then, the price action dips even more. It accelerates, right? So you don't want to be stuck with the crowd when they all run towards that cliff, right? You all already want to have made your little escape and be away from what they're doing. Guys, shout out to Kevin Hawthorne, who's in the comment section, says, good evening. Hello, Kevin, all the way from Lakeland, Florida. Thanks for visiting with us tonight, brother. Appreciate you being here. Let me jump out of the way and let's take a look at some of our transaction fees. Guys, on the show, a regular fixture on the show is TX Street, txstreet.com. And if you're wondering where any of this stuff is, if you're new to the show, all of these links are available in the description, the show notes, including the news stories that we're going to talk about in terms of the sentiment for the markets right now. On that note, actually, I'm going to defer TX Street until we go through our news segment, and let's take a look at some of the news that may be affecting the Fear and Greed Index and people's feelings about the market right now. Because again, these are sentiment-driven markets. What people feel is kind of more important than what they think, unfortunately. And for us, we want to keep our thinking caps on and say, okay, they're feeling that way, so I think I'm going to do the opposite, or I'm going to do something smarter, right, than all these folks who are feeling like they want to panic sell or panic buy or whatever. So here's some of the news, guys. The Evergrande debt crisis in China. This comes to us courtesy of CryptoPotato.com. And apparently they break it down really, really well. But Evergrande is an investment and real estate development group, or a company that deals in real estate development, that basically is kind of getting too big for its britches and is struggling to pay down its debts. Like, in a nutshell, that's the news story right now. And they're right at that point where they're teetering on the edge of defaulting on their loans, and they've got a lot of them. Let's kind of take a look at the long and the short of it, okay? Here's some numbers, right? They've got over 1,300 projects, like housing development projects or multi-unit development projects. So like apartment complexes and sky and high rises and what we think of as like multi quadplexes and like beyond fourplexes and condos and things like that, like where there's a lot of people going into these homes or into these doors if you're into real estate. But over 1,300 projects with over 280 within 280 Chinese cities. So those projects may well be like a full development, not like one building, but like an entire apartment complex development or an entire strip of condos. That would be like just one of those 1,300 projects. They got a lot going on. As far as real estate developers, they are very busy, or at least they seem that way. To get there, they had to borrow $300 billion, right? $300 billion in US dollars. That's not a typo. That's not the yuan. Dollars, 300 billion of them. And they borrowed it from over 170 domestic banks and then over 120 other financial firms, right? Lenders, maybe including hard money lenders, people who do want payment in full, at least, or a payment with extra terms, right, attached to it. So they're into a lot of different pockets in order to get that $300 billion. It's safe to just do table napkin math here and say they've borrowed an average of $1 billion from each entity. And they've gone to almost 300 entities to go borrow this money. It's a lot that they owe. So they've got a bit of an issue now in that Beijing has implemented rules that control the amount of money owed by big real estate developers, likely because of the global financial markets and because of the issues that we're seeing here in the United States as well within real estate. I mean, we're not actually an island. We're a nation, right? But we're not an island when it comes to finance. The whole world is kind of feeling this crunch, and Beijing has made special rules for it. Very similar to how here in many states, there are squatter laws that are kind of working against the interests of real estate developers and then private owners like you and me. If we own a second or a third home, there are some laws that are kind of working against our interests as small-time investors. We can't evict people who have been really bad tenants, for example, even if they have income, even if they're able to pay. It's been very difficult here. And I think that it's not all that dissimilar there in Beijing. And so there have been some laws passed there, some rules passed there that kind of changed the situation for them. But these guys are way over leveraged, $300 billion in debt. So apparently they've been offering the properties at pretty big discounts to make sure that the inventory moves, right? You and I maybe have been seeing the effects of inflation at the market, like when you try to go buy groceries or whatever, and you're like, oh my gosh, this $20 bill didn't go as far as it did last time, right? Like, or whatever, family groceries, the bill for, whatever this time period was $400, but this time it's 600, right? Like, you're seeing this price creep up both at the grocery store and at the pump, right? The gas pump. We're seeing this. There's never been a better time to be able to work remotely, right? Or from maybe from a co-working office or something. But this is affecting everybody, and we're seeing it here as well. So they've been struggling to pay that debt, and nobody knows whether or not Beijing will actually bail out this company, Evergrande. So if they do, it's a huge bailout. If they don't, they will fail. It looks like not an easy situation, right? We think of things as being too big to fail, and it's like, well, yeah, what do you mean too big to fail? Just let them fail. What's going to be, what's the harm? They can learn a lesson from that. But then there are associated economies close to them, and then the trickle-down effect of other economies and supply chains. And it's kind of laid out here as well, right? That's kind of the issue with Bitcoin, right? And with cryptocurrency markets. So China is the world's second largest economy. And apparently there were people who invested in some of these properties from Evergrande before construction began. So they've got bad debt now too. Rather, they've gotten bad debt from people who were trying to buy, right? From their buyers. So Evergrande has bad debt from people they borrowed money from, and then bad debt from clients who actually thought they were going to get real estate projects. And they're really spread thin in a lot of different places. Those people, they'll lose the money that they put into these projects as deposits. And that's all the way down at the retail level, I think. Now, there's not a whole lot of detail here, but it could be somebody who, just wanted to get a condo, right? Like just a solo investor, somebody who just has wants their second home or their third home, somebody who's just a striver like us, right? Somebody who's trying to put a little more of their personal capital, their own sweat, and, turned into money into a new property. And they're getting taken for a ride like this. It's pretty rough. Pretty rough what's happening here. I think I can identify with some of these other folks here, but they've basically been shot down, right? They're not going to see that investment capital turn into a real estate property. But apparently they've got an internal supply chain. They operate at that level where they are sourcing everything from lumber to conduit to all the rest of the electrical and all of the junction boxes, whatever else that goes through, cable runs, if it's a more high-tech place, right? All of the various different firewall, like physical firewall material to make sure they've got fiber optic running through a building, and, smart buildings with enough high-speed last-mile copper wire going through, right? Twisted pair for Cat 6 or for Cat 7 if they're future-proofing, and fiber optic going through various different sides of the building. They've got all of that in their own supply chain. But that's going to be gummed up too, right? This $300 billion enterprise that they're working on. Everything is going to feel the effects, right, of this bad debt mounting. And they talk about how the financial fallout really going bad. Guys, let me quickly shout out some folks who are coming in right now. Alex, thanks for jumping in as well. Complex Skepsis says, I love discounted prices. That's great, man. Yeah, I'm with you. We'll talk more about this as well. Golden Wolf is here, says, yes, Mind Your Biz Live. Thank you. Gallo is here, says, hola, hola. Calarosa, be China's 2008. Yes, it would. And for those of us who remember, 2008 was no walk in the park. Those were rough times. Rough times in real estate. My wife and I sold a house barely keeping our shirts in late 07, and we got really lucky. We did. We got really lucky to unload that property when we did. So yeah, yes. I mean, like, I don't want to make light of PTSD because it's a real thing, and no stolen valor here, whatever. But dang, those markets, like, if you don't remember them with shock and awe, then you must not have a heart or something. 2008 was intense, and this is shaping up to be like 2008 for this organization. Because it's directly related, right? Subprime lending in the real estate sector. Andres is here, says, hi from south of Argentina. Sorry about that. I thought it was Andreas, but he's not. It's Andres. Fun fact, guys, for those of us who are English speakers, Andres is the closest transliteration of the name Andrew that Spanish has. Just FYI. I know, that's why you come here. You come here to get your Spanish lessons. I know. You're welcome. So, guys, the impact apparently is already visible. We're seeing various different kinds of indicators that there's a problem here. Evergrande stock apparently is 80% down in 6 months. The shares just today dropped another 10%. Alex Burton drops hashtag the more you know. Yep, that's right, guys, and that's the thing. Also, here's another thing. Just please, log this one away back here. Jaime is not James. That's not actually the Spanish word for James. It's Santiago. Santiago is James. That one's a little less intuitive, but again, there you go. So what happens with Bitcoin? People sell stuff off. They do. They sell stuff off when they start to see that their fiat investments are tanking. They get basically kind of crazy, right? They think, oh my gosh, my bank account is doing this, and I've still got some crypto over here, and I've got bills to pay over here, and they're not going to accept my Bitcoin, and I think I actually have to break my crypto piggy bank, and I've got to use it. There are some people who are genuinely thinking about this decision. They're weighing the scales. Okay, my mounting debts over here because of bad stock purchases or a bad real estate purchase with these jokers at Evergrande who overextended themselves and will not give me my real estate that I put a down payment on. And then I've got my Bitcoin, my Ethereum, maybe my Solana, my Phantom. If you're a hexagon, it's like, okay, well, maybe I've got some liquid hex that has done really well, and I've got real world bills over here. So I've got to do something with what I have over here in these cryptocurrencies to make sure that I don't starve over here, right? With my fiat purchases, my fiat needs. So we're seeing that tough decision being made by people right now, especially when the dollar is finally gaining strength again against some of its rival fiat currencies. So we know that Bitcoin probably shouldn't be a correlated asset. We know as believers in cryptocurrencies and sort of the promise of Satoshi of creating something that the banks couldn't manipulate, that it shouldn't be correlated. But what we found so far is that people treat it like a speculative asset for investment. And so unfortunately, it is correlated because people will liquidate other stuff too, like stocks, if they can, in order to fulfill their debt obligations and their fiat obligations on the other side of their sort of financial picture, right? Their financial situation. So unfortunately, that's probably the biggest reason. Now, does that mean that Bitcoin is going to stay suppressed? No. Does that mean that Bitcoin is going down forever? No. Does that mean we're heading straight to 10K? Well, in my opinion, probably not. Nobody knows for sure, right? But my crystal ball, if any of it is working, that's the part that's working, is my general gut feeling that we're not racing to the bottom now. We will see Bitcoin rise again before the end of this bull run. So, yeah. Hey, Serpent X Tech drops in a $2 super chat, says, love your face. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Really appreciate that. I shaved just for you, man. I trimmed this beard up just for you. How did you know, Serpent X Tech? Appreciate that. So, you guys, we got a lot of great comments coming in about the news as well. Complex Skepsis says, yep, I need a Tostitos sponsorship. I'll buy the dip. Oh, yeah. It's awesome, man. Takis apparently are all the rage. But somebody tagged me in a post about Takis. They're like, red or blue Takis? And I'm like, bro, red or blue leukemia is the real question. I'll pass. Tostitos, though, I can get behind that because they're designed for dipping. So, yeah, clients are taking a hit for real. Complex Skepsis is loving the opportunity to buy a dip. ACU5 is in the house, says, yo. Emmanuel says the big problem is just-in-time production, no warehousing parts. Ooh, it's true, actually. Just-in-time production is a bit of it's a blessing and a curse. And we're also seeing that that rapid prototyping as well is actually adding to this problem, right? The fact that we can all have 3D printers at home and we can all have laser cutters, or we're just shy of having intense manufacturing gear at home, like plasma cutters. It won't be that much longer before they're made a little bit more safe to have in the average American garage or basement. So if we can have laser cutters and 3D printers and and vacuum forming machines for DIY people, right? For hobbyists, then it won't be long before we have more intense stuff too. And it's creating more of that problem because now, like, who would have a warehouse full of small plastic parts that you or I could print for 5 cents on our own? Right? Like, it's a tricky thing. It's a very tricky thing. So totally. Barry Merritt says, lost a third of my retirement. Oh, referring to 2008. I'm so sorry to hear that, man. I really am. And we all know the sob stories. We all know somebody or know someone who knows someone who lost it all. So I'm sorry to hear that you lost that much. Because I know that it was a crushing time, soul crushing time for a lot of people. Hopefully there aren't too many families that are suffering that badly in Beijing right now. So let's see. Gallo laughs in Spanish. It's good stuff, man. That's the other thing, right? They did like basically take your Spanish laughs with an H, replace it with a J. Done. Jota. Morning Rise Crypto Consulting LLC says, what up, brother? That's a mouthful. I'm just going to start calling you Morning Rise because it feels weird to call you by your official full name. And I'll call you Morning Rise. You can call me, call me Al. Yeah, call me Al. There we go. All right, so let's see what else we got. 3D printed homes. Alex Burton drops in. It's true. 3D printed homes are going to be a thing. Gallo says 3D printed GPUs. You guys, you got me. You got me. These are the things that we need to innovate, okay? So we're going to do a fundraiser, Kickstarter, for 3D printing your own GPU at home. It's going to be huge. Anyway, Nemesis is in the house, says, yo! Guys, we got the homie. Got the homie. So, hey, pay respect to Bitcoin in the comment section, or Nemesis will use his laser vision and he will... It actually doesn't burn things. It just kind of stings. Right on the back of your neck, you'll be like, oh, why, Nemesis? But he'll do it. I've seen it. I've seen it. So next on the news, guys, El Salvador, they didn't waste an opportunity to buy this dip. They just jumped right in. Another 150 Bitcoin. They were like, hey, problems in China? Not our problem. And they went ahead and bought more, which they have to because it airdropped so much to other people, right? To their own citizens. They've got to buy up as much as they can at the lowest possible price basis that they can, right? So they got to do it. They absolutely have got to do it. I had a comment, a little private chat with a coworker the other day, and they said, oh, guys, I just don't believe that cryptocurrency is going to be real currency. Like, who even uses it? Have any of you even used any kind of a crypto like Bitcoin for a real purchase before? I was like, bro, I've bought airfare, I've gotten Airbnbs, the shades that I wear. Granted, they're worth like over $1,200 now. That one pair of shades, they're not $1,200 glasses. They're not fancy, but they're the equivalent of like 1,200 fiat, dollars now, based on the amount of Bitcoin that I spent on them. And so I'm like, yeah, bro, totally. I rattle off like a half dozen things that I've done with cryptocurrencies, buying with cryptocurrencies, including VPN purchases and VPS purchases to be able to spin up masternodes and stuff, all kinds of stuff that relates to us. And he's like, yeah, see what I'm saying? Nobody uses it. And I'm like, bro, my chopped liver? I'm telling you, I use it. And a bunch of our other coworkers chime in too and say the same thing. They're like, yeah, I used it for this other thing that one time. And, I definitely, I've used it here. And me too. Like in my local market, bro, I was on Facebook Marketplace, and a local person was trying to sell their motorcycle for Ethereum. Like, people use it in certain markets. They do. It's just not widespread. And every time I think about this, super cool guy. I love this guy to pieces. Totally. I would have lunch with this guy every day of the week because he's super cool. But this particular thing, he couldn't unwrap himself. He was really wound up over this point that he was trying to make of people aren't using it. And we're like, bro, El Salvador exists. You can't keep saying that. It just doesn't fly. So yeah, here we are. $30 to all these people. So they've brought up their total holdings right now. And yeah, that's a big deal. So that's going to affect, I think, we're going to see a little bit of a yo-yo here, I suspect, because of the utilization. Guys, this narrative is powerful of El Salvador and Panama being interested, right? And other countries as well. I think, is it Ukraine now that's jumping in, which is huge. If any former Eastern Bloc country gets involved, watch that. Watch that just spread like wildfire across the former USSR, because you got people there who are like, yeah, we'll start with financial freedom. If that's what it takes, we'll start there. Sure. what do we have to say to the party loyalists to get this going? We'll take financially sovereign instruments like cryptocurrencies. Thank you very much. They get it. Let's see. Stefan is in the comments saying, I hope to buy something with my XRP one day, but every time I finally start to make a profit, we have a correction. Boo! Laughing, crying face. Got it. Alex Burton says, invest in precious metals like brass and lead. Yes, I agree wholeheartedly. Maybe a little bit of steel too. But, well, those are not as, steel's not that precious, but you got to have it. Anyway, let's see. Bulgaria. Bitcoin Jake, is it Bulgaria? Is that the former Eastern Bloc country that I'm drawing blank on? Because Bulgaria may have some news as well. But there you go. And Ravenboy Crypto says, LOL, down with the 556. Heck yeah. Very versatile. Just too bad it costs an arm and a leg. Brazil made the news as well. So Brazil, they've got a bank called BTG Pactual. They're launching direct Bitcoin and Ethereum buying and selling through a platform called Mint. And I want to kind of preface this little news bit by saying that it could come across as some kind of like nepotism or like crony capitalism, or cronyism within their government. It's not. I really don't think it is. I don't think that it is. So let's just take a look at this. Bitcoin Jake mentions also, he says, Bulgaria's old news like last year or more. Bulgarian government has stated that it owns some 519 Bitcoins. Here's the thing. They may own it in the same way that the FBI owns Bitcoins here in the United States, which is that they may have seized them. I'm not sure if they purchased them. So maybe, and I'm not sure if it's being used by their treasury in a meaningful way for the people. So could be that that's just like not top of mind for people now because it hasn't quite gone that route. And some goblin loser, I don't know, says, hey, yo, he got a great idea. He says, I just got home. Smash that like button. Guys, do it for some goblin loser. Why would you leave the man hanging like that? You can do it. So don't want you to think this is cronyism. It's not, I don't think. They say, let's see, Roberto Saluti, the CEO of BTG Pactual, said, we make available Bitcoin and Ethereum trading to meet the demand from our customers who wish to invest in cryptos. You guys have heard me on this show praise our friends from Brazil. The Brazilian people in general are so industrious, so hardworking. They're so with it, right? So clear mentally. And I'm just going to say it flat out. I don't think I've met a Brazilian person yet in my life who I haven't liked. Straight up. And that's me as a lazy Caribbean, Southern California dude, right? Like, I haven't met a Brazilian person who yet that I haven't liked because of that, like, go-getter attitude. They seem to just get it. Just real talk, guys. Real talk. I forgot that we had, I don't remember, who our Brazilians are, but it's always impressive. And you see this attitude of like, well, does this have value? Is it going to add value to the hard work that I already do? Then I'm in. Some people who I used to associate with very frequently, who are Brazilian business people who now live in Florida, they were very early to the Bitcoin and the Ethereum mining scene, and they just got it. They never quit their day jobs. They just kept on focusing on their Bitcoin and cryptocurrency investments on the side. And yeah, they've just like stuck with it. It hasn't been their main line of business, but I know for a fact they've got heavy bags of cryptocurrencies that are making them very happy for retirement. So anyway, I'm not shocked when I see news like this. They say we recommend it be a small part of your portfolio, but the bank was co-founded by the current Minister of the Economy. And again, I don't want you to think that this is any kind of cronyism. It's not. Yeah, it's not. So the current Minister of the Economy formed it back in 1983 with the Brazilian government, right? So the current administration and the previous ones seem to appear quite friendly towards cryptos. And again, I'm not shocked. This is a country that doesn't have any foreign debt. This is a country that runs an economy that is sovereign and self-sustaining. So I'm not shocked at all. Golden Wolf says, yes, we all love Brazilian women. Can't argue with that either. So Bitcoin Jake says among the items recovered were some, yep. Okay, so it was seized. There you go. Looks like it was seized. They're not sure what the Bulgarian government wants to do with it. Yeah, I think it's the news a bit like the FBI. So I think that's kind of like why we haven't covered it yet. But that's very good to know. And it'll be cool to see what the Bulgarian government finally does decide about that. If they ever do decide, they might just quietly, slowly sell that off or just hold on to it for people who are the privileged elite within the Bulgarian government. I don't know Bulgarian politics very well, so we'll see which direction they decide to go. So Yeah. Oh, guys, here's the thing. You can seize Bitcoin and absolutely make somebody give you their seed phrase or their private keys. That's totally possible. And that's totally what happened for the massive number of Bitcoins that the FBI holds right now. They absolutely control them as well. So that's, yeah, there you go. Complex Skepsis is talking about some cold wallets in the comment section. Guys, I've got some live questions coming in as well. Let's see. Oh, Complex Skepsis. The word is persuasion. Persuasion. I can't say that word on stream. You know I can't repeat that. So, yeah, they persuade their people. Level 51 asks if cheap GPUs are incoming. I don't know. I hope they are. But I can't say for sure. No telling. Somebody asked about cold wallets, and I am struggling to find where it went. It's way farther up because we got the comment section is out of control. Y'all are out of control. And I love it. Keep it up. So let's see. Somebody was asking about favorite cold wallet. Favorite cold wallet for me has got to be probably the Nanner, the Nanner Ledger, the Ledger Nano S. There you go. Though I was thinking about releasing my own hardware wallet called the Neener. So sorry. Cat's out of the bag. So Ledger Nano S. It's a beautiful wallet that supports Monero for under $60. There is not another wallet like that that supports Monero and like Ravenboy Crypto and Ravencoin. It can actually be attached to Ravencoin Core and be used with Ravencoin Core. Ravencoin and Monero, which are kind of they're not the most out there cryptocurrencies, but you'd think that more wallets would support them. The Ledger Nano S does at an extremely low price. Morning Rise says Trezor Model T. That's true, but Trezor Model T costs over $150. You can get 3 Ledger Nano S's, and you can duplicate them and have them in multiple locations if you needed to, as a backup plan, right? As a foolproof backup plan for yourself. Or you can get a hardware wallet for everybody in the family and have support for those other cryptocurrencies. Personally, I don't find it to be any more difficult to use than the Trezor. The Trezor Model T is nice. Don't get me wrong. I've used it, and it's a nice looking wallet, and it's very easy to use the touchscreen and such. But I really like the Ledger Nano S because it does so much at such a low cost. There's something about the efficiency of doing that and just making it no nonsense, where it's like it does one thing really well. That's sign transactions. It's not supposed to look beautiful. It's supposed to sign transactions. It's not my smartphone. I'm not carrying it around. Design awards? Like for what? It has to be usable. Usable. And that's my reason for liking it. I get why people would like the Model T by Trezor. And then the Trezor 1 also. They're great models. They really are. Trezor's good too. But I'm really partial to the Nano S because it's the only wallet in that price range that supports Monero and Ravencoin. Trezor is great because it's got an open source software stack. Everything that goes into it, you can find and audit in terms of the code base. So there's a lot of value in that too. But yeah, the Trezor Model T, as mentioned in the comment section, it also supports Monero and Ravencoin and many others, but it costs 3 times as much as the Nano S. So I really like that. At the end of the day, if you're on an EVM chain like Ethereum or Polygon or Avalanche or Binance Smart Chain, if you really feel like using that, or others that run from within MetaMask, any hardware wallet that supports MetaMask is going to extend those capabilities. Ledger Nano S, Trezor 1, Trezor Model T, Ledger Nano X, any of those. If they're supported by MetaMask, they're a great option too. I think if you're primarily focused on the DeFi space or NFTs, then you can't really go wrong with any of those. I think when you get out into like the EliPal territory, it's fine. You guys saw my review about that. Same with some other third-party wallets. If they don't support signing within MetaMask, then I find them to personally, I view them as marginally useful. Not as useful as they could be. They would be extended so much more if they did support MetaMask or MyEther wallet or some other EVM compatible wallet that allowed you to just sign with that hardware wallet and then use a computer or a phone-based solution to manage all of the RPCs, the networks that run like Avalanche and Polygon and Ethereum or testnets or Binance Smart Chain or whatever else, right? Like that software layer, and then just having the hardware wallet to just sign with keys. That's a very powerful combo, and I'm very much a firm believer in that security model too. So that's my answer. But guys, you're going to have different needs. Obviously, everybody share your responses in the comments as well. But going back to that news about Brazil, this is way back in 1983. I think that the current administration has got the right idea. It would be great to see Bitcoin and Ethereum adopted by Brazil. I promise you, if we saw Bitcoin and Ethereum adopted by Brazil, all the criticisms of like, well, El Salvador is just, or Bitcoin specifically, well, El Salvador is just too small a country. We can't really find out anything by seeing what El Salvador does. Bro, I dare you to say that to Brazil's face. Double dog dare you. They're such a powerhouse as far as internal commerce and running their own sovereign economy without having to bring in foreign debt. Like, you'd see things move very fast, progress very fast. If Bitcoin were adopted as legal tender, or any cryptocurrency were adopted as legal tender within Brazil. So this is an exciting step forward. Guys, OmniLite on the Litecoin network. This is kind of old news, and you might be wondering, Seth, why are you even bringing this up? Well, I'll show you. Because of an interview with Charlie Lee recently. And let's listen to this.
Litecoin, which lets user trade tokens and create tokens on top of Litecoin. This is the same technology that announced we've got a new feature called OmniLite. Litecoin, which lets user trade tokens and create tokens on top of Litecoin. This is the same technology that Tether uses on Bitcoin to support USDT. So we're talking to Tether to also potentially launch USDT on Litecoin. And OmniLite will also support NFTs soon. And lastly, one of the biggest upgrades to Litecoin is actually coming later this year. It's called MWeb, which adds fungibility to Litecoin. We're hoping that this upgrade will be accepted by the network and the users, and we'll see it live later next year, or earlier next year.
All right.
Okay, so guys, why are we talking about Litecoin? Is this a Litecoin-centered channel? No, not really. But we do... Oftentimes, Litecoin gets a bad rap as like, hey, there's not enough development happening on Litecoin. And they talked about Mimblewimble being added to it, but when's that going to happen? Or would it ever compete in DeFi land? Is it any kind of a credible threat to say like Ethereum or Ethereum style chains or like Solana or whatever? Well, I don't know if that's that might be going a little too far saying some of those things, but I don't think that it's dead. And you guys have heard me compliment their community in previous episodes, like previous live streams. I really do think that the community is pushing really hard, and I really do think that Charlie Lee and others, that they are acting in good faith and they're trying to add functionality. So OmniLite, if you're not familiar with the Omni Layer protocol, you may not know this, but on Bitcoin right now, today, there are $1.5 billion worth of Tether, the stablecoin, on a smart contract layer on Bitcoin called Omni Layer protocol. It's true. For example, check out if you have the Zelcore wallet on your phone, try to add assets, and then just start typing in USDT, and you'll see various different networks that USDT lives on. Bitcoin is one of those networks. So there's Tether printed on Bitcoin right now. And what Charlie Lee is saying is that there could be Tether printed on Litecoin too. Now, is that like the biggest selling point of Litecoin? Probably not, but there could be other tokens as well. That's the point, is that with the transaction fees being so low on Litecoin, they could actually pull it off. In the same way that Bitcoin Cash has the SLP, Simple Ledger Protocol. Does that mean that people will go and use it for DeFi or for trading or for token creation or whatever else? I don't know. I don't know if it means anything, right? In the same way that Bitcoin Cash having SLP didn't instantly bring everybody over from Ethereum, right? Crypto Queries says, bro, your videos are great. You've made us realize mining is a step to getting away from the 9-to-5 world. Thank you. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yeah, guys, any bit of involvement that we take into cryptocurrency, and very seriously with that business mindset of like, okay, profit, loss, hours on task, like what's my total investment, what's my return on investment, and what's my profit margin in between. But like, yeah, I do firmly believe that, guys. We are trying to save lives. We got to grab hands, save as many lives as we can here. So thank you. That means a lot. Let's see. Alex is saying, exactly. Litecoin is perfect for moving funds between exchanges, fixed fees, and it just works. Yeah, a lot of people like using Litecoin in lieu of Bitcoin Cash, as they're sort of like e-commerce and day-to-day, like buying a cup of coffee with crypto type currency. Because of that, those low fees, fast transaction times, and not too congested network. But if you add Omni Lite, right, Omni Layer protocol, then we have the opportunity to see stablecoins on top and a bunch of other things too. This is in the show notes, guys. You can read more about that, as well as here on the Litecoin Foundation's blog. Way back in February, they talked about MWeb, and I want to just kind of make it clear. They know they've got a fungibility problem with Bitcoin and Litecoin. And people who are sort of Monero maximalists, they always point this out. They say, hey, your coin is not fungible. That means that if I give you one Bitcoin, and you give me one Bitcoin back, they won't always be equivalent, because one of those Bitcoins could have been tainted through some sort of crime that somebody else did that you and I will not be aware of. And the only way that I'll know that your Bitcoin that you gave to me was not equivalent to the one that I gave to you is when I try to put it onto an exchange, and Binance or Kraken or Gemini or somebody else, Poloniex, whatever else, they say, hey, no, we can't accept that. Or because it's permissionless, you send it to exchange and say, hey, oh, no, we can't service you. We're confiscating that and notifying the authorities. This Bitcoin was used in a crime 3 hops before you got it. This happens. This is not made up. I know somebody personally. I could drive to this person's home, go have lunch with them right now. I know somebody personally who this has happened to. Bitcoin is not fungible. It has to be mixed in order to be made fungible, or it needs to have some kind of privacy added to it through CoinJoin or through some other privacy measures that are added to it at some point in the future. But today, Bitcoin is not fungible. You can't guarantee the provenance of each Bitcoin that you get. And the same problem is inherited by Litecoin. So what does MWeb do? It kind of solves that. So MWeb is the Mimblewimble extension block, and they're going to try to upgrade Litecoin with this. And it's been on the roadmap for a while. I realize this is not the latest breaking news, but the point is that I think they're acting in good faith, the Litecoin Foundation, and trying to make these changes. It may take a long time. It might not come fast enough, but the developers haven't starved yet and the project hasn't stopped yet. So that's why I wanted to add that. Just make it clear that I have nothing against Litecoin. I just, it's just not my main thing. But there are people that use it because they like the low fees and it's still getting developed. So pretty darn cool. John Clayton asks in the comment section, anyone know where I can get a motherboard repaired? There should be a shop in your hometown where you can drive to someplace and have it repaired. You can do an RMA to the company that manufactured it potentially. And then there are some services online that do that sort of thing as well. I do not do motherboard repair. I have done bulk GPU repair. I don't like doing one-offs because it's hard for me to justify the time spent. So yeah, sorry. But maybe somebody in the comment section does know somebody, or they do it themselves. So guys, answer John Clayton's call for community help there. Let's see if we can get him sorted out. But that's our Litecoin news. Let's take a look at the transaction fees on both Ethereum and Bitcoin. We've got txstreet.com checking out our fees, and that is horrific. That is freaky as all get out. Median gas price on Ethereum right now is 230. Gway! Oh, Gway, what are you doing? You're killing me. Right now, the median ETH transfer fee just to move Ether from one wallet to another inside of MetaMask or on your hardware wallet, your 2 different addresses, going to cost you $14. And it's also, going to cost $14. And to initiate a smart contract, it's going to cost you $104. Yeah, Ian Spiker says, no way, bro. Right. Yep. Cryptid Youth is having to take off. Cryptid Youth, thanks for being here. Appreciate you tuning in. So, guys, that's our current fees on Ethereum. That's just a pain in the booty. I'm going to say, over on Polygon, I had to do a series of multiple smart contracts, including swapping one asset for another asset, initiating a smart contract for staking, initiating a secondary smart contract, rather for liquidity provision, a secondary smart contract for staking the liquidity provider token. And I did all of those transactions on Polygon, all of them combined, for less than a penny. Just saying. Rob says, hey, Seth, are you familiar with Steve Barber's work? He built a house miner box. I'm curious what you think about this. You can find him on Twitter at SG Barber. I don't think I've seen that particular thing yet, but I'll take a look soon. I know that, like right now, for example, I've got my secondary miner. I've got a test bench miner here in the basement, in the bonus room, and it's totally heating up the bonus room because it was just cold enough this morning that we wanted to keep it at a nice, 70-ish degrees in that area, and the mining rig does that quite nicely. So it can absolutely heat the interior of your home, and I should add, it's no louder than the water heater that's also across the basement. So the water heater is actually, for me, audibly louder than the mining rig. And the water heater is great for when I'm taking a shower, but when I'm standing out here swimming through the air right here in the basement, I would prefer to have my mining rig making the air warm, right? Nice temperature. So jumping back out of the way here, guys, with Bitcoin, mempool is back and way back up, elevated to over 7,000 transactions trying to push through. Median fee is about 60 cents in US dollar value. Median fee in sats per VByte is 8. And yeah, you see that backlog. People are trying to get all their transactions through on Bitcoin. Heaven help them. And we're seeing that fee go down just a little bit on Ethereum, but dang, that's just too dang high. Who wants to deal with that? Nobody. Let's see. Alex Burton is asking, what are your thoughts on Ravencoin Lite? I still have not formed an opinion, and I'm so sorry because I think you asked last time as well. I know you're not trying to shill, and I promise you I'm not trying to avoid it because I know that it is a project that's up and coming, and it's got some people's attention. So maybe we can take a look at that live tonight, briefly. But I haven't formed an opinion on that. Not a strong opinion on it, certainly, but we'll see what we can find out as we go and revisit the portfolios. MC is in the house, says, what up? And Yvonne is here, says Alex Burton. Asked him the other day, not sure if he looked into it. Yep, it was Yvonne. I apologize. Yep, haven't looked into it yet, guys. So MC is saying, what's up, brothers? Mind your biz, Golden Wolf, Next Era Gamer. What's up, BTC Jake? All right. And let's see. John Clayton asks about support levels for ETH and Bitcoin now. Guys, I don't have any fib levels to draw on it, so I'm not very confident doing that sort of thing on a live stream. Again, just real talk. I know my limitations right now, and you're going to love it when we see my chart. My limitations right now actually are probably in part because of the tools that I'm using. Maybe I should make myself a little more comfortable with using fibs to be able to see what our levels are instead of, doing channels and only focusing on ascending and descending triangles. So maybe before long we will go there. But I'm not super confident on it now, so I don't want to draw charts and be like, yeah, this was so great, and totally lead everybody straight. As it is, when you see my chart, you're gonna laugh. All right, Raven Boy Crypto is putting the kids to bed. Hey, appreciate you stopping in, guys. That's our current Ethereum fees and Bitcoin fees. Fiatleak.com is going to show us what's going on with Bitcoin. We're jumping straight in. Won't let anything else load up before that, just so we see what the situation is there. It looks like we haven't yet found support, but we haven't broken downward through 40,000 either. We're at 41.8, which is pretty awesome. US dollars still moving in. Brazilian real plugging away. I think because of that news, I get the sense we're going to see Brazilian real really start pouring into Bitcoin and Ethereum because of that bank. So that's going to be pretty amazing to see. Euro also pumping in as well. We should see some other markets join in the fun, but it looks like, with the current price action, I think it's only going to be the big boys that are playing now, and they're playing for keeps, right? They're dumping fresh fiat into Bitcoin to buy this dip right up. Let's take a look at Ethereum before we move any farther. And Ethereum, what do we got here? 2,900. Oof. So we broke through 3,000. What are you going to do? Well, buy it, I guess. Or mine it. Don't stop. Get it. US dollars pouring in. US dollars pouring in. And the exchange APIs are not catching up. Guys, we're leaving Fiat Leak behind today. Let's jump into our profitability. First off, this new layout is kind of crazy. Yep, kind of crazy. I had a question in the live chat earlier on, scrolling through here. Somebody asked about low hash rate models, and I am struggling to find that one also. I think I may have been tagged in it, but low hash rate models were the question. There we go. It was Ace at Cisco asks, have you heard any further news on optimization of LHR over and above 69 to 70%? So no, I haven't heard any heard any rumors or anything about the efficiency going up above 69 to 70%. But when we look at the profitability charts, I suspect that you're going to have an alternate coin to mine with those LHR models where the hash rate inhibitor mechanism doesn't affect you, right? Because you're not focused on Dagger Hashimoto, the Ethereum and Ethereum Classic mining algorithm. So I think we've got some options, and I think, yeah, we want to be able to just have the full flexibility of mining the full range of assets that are available to us. But I think we have some alternatives that you may find satisfactory. So let's take a look and start from the very top. Let's begin with our 3090. Come here, 3090. There you go. And our 2080 Ti. God, trying to this layout, it just totally gets me. 2080 Ti. And our 1660S, as well as our 1080 Ti. And once we click on calculate, that's when it compresses this upper readout. And it's kind of, they're trying to make it easier to read, but it actually is a little confusing in a way. So we got all of our basic algorithms untouched here, unoptimized, and Ethereum is at the very top of the list, but Flux is second place at 1174 for Ethereum and then 999 for Flux. But what it doesn't do perfectly is it doesn't show the parallel assets for Flux. So there's more to the story than just what we see here in the stacked ranking. You're actually earning more. And that's what I was going to get at before. If you get a low hash rate model that can still mine any of these other algorithms outside of ETH or Dagger Hashimoto, like Zelhash or KawPow or ProgPow, you may have some other options in coins like Conceal or Conflux, Firo, Flux, or Zano. Right? They're all profitable enough that it may be attractive to you, as opposed to just getting 70% of the Ethereum mining hash rate. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Let's see what else we got. Alex Burton says, whoa, what to mine in dark mode is sick. Nice. Oh my gosh, guys, dark mode is a way of life. I do not know any other way. I just don't. I cannot bear to look at certain screens without dark mode on. But I'm going to high sign for my family. Also, we're doing a little bit of an early family dinner, so I'm going to have to, we're going to push towards our charts here in just a minute here. Nothing personal. It's just family business. So yeah, Gallo said it right. Dark mode is the only mode. So dark mode on here, guys, right up here. See that? Right next to the follow on Twitter. Light mode. I mean, shield your eyes. Do you want to see this? Really? Because I can show you. Oh, you're sick. Why would you do that? Okay, let's go back to dark mode. Dark mode. Boom. Back. Okay, so yeah, guys, I think that we've got some other options when it comes to these lower hash rate models, and we can do that. Yeah, definitely can do that. So yeah, moving instead of Ethereum, taking a look at our alternate coins. Gallo, please don't do that again. Yeah, I know, guys, I'm sorry. I should have put like some kind of seriously, even some strobing warning. It'd be like people with epilepsy would complain less. Be like, like, warning, we're going to show you a white screen. Be like, oh, okay, I'm having a seizure, but that's all right. Anything's better than a white screen. So moving from our top of the line on Team Green, let's go to our value and efficiency cards. So all the way down to the 3060 Ti. Now, and right here, we've got the L designator for LHR. It's totally possible. Guys, we can show those cards. So, maybe we do show them in a second here. Yeah, let's start with just a 3060 Ti. And for kicks and giggles, let's take a look at this. Let's compare the two. Zelhash at 54.5, ETH at 58. And we've got not quite the same stacked ranking, though. That's a bit of a minute, so it'll be tough to track, right? So Ethereum at 308, Conceal at 250. So why don't we go with number 1 and number 2 here? Ethereum and Conceal at 250 there. Now let's deselect that, go to the 360 Ti low hash rate model and calculate there. Zelhash, still 54.5. I suspect everything else will be right in place. See that? 250 on Conceal still. So the only thing it's done is decrease our hash rate on Ethereum. That's it. And in the middle of this current bull run, the middle of the current market conditions, we're still profitable on other coins. to the extent that it's almost, in my mind, for right now, it's not worth getting hung up over whether or not we get 100% of the hash rate on Ethereum. Because for many of these cards, right now, today, at 70% of the Ethereum hash rate, you're definitely more profitable on other coins. And if you really needed to, you could mine to exchange or something and then immediately swap those for Ethereum, right? Like you've got options for sure. So just throwing that out there. Let's get this low hash rate model out of the way for right now. Go back to our full lineup of 3060 Ti and our 2060 as well as our 1060. But we're not going to go with two of those. We're going to go with just one, as well as the 1660. Those guys line up very nicely there. Go ahead and hit calculate. And now we can see this. All right. Ethereum at... Oh, that's not creepy at all. You see it. I'm not going to say it out loud. It's been a weird day. It's been a weird day in the markets. I'm just not going to tempt fate. Like, why? Anyway, Flux is in a close second place, just below $6, $5.78. But again, with parallel assets, you're going to go well above what Ethereum offers there. Conceal is at $5.43. Conflux, Firo, and Zano. So pretty great projects there. Not seeing Ergo on the list, but you know what? It could be mostly that it's more of a Team Red thing. That the Team Red, or all of our AMD cards, are just going to do a lot better on Ergo. So going to prepare myself to see that. Some Goblin Loser says, I wish. More like I can finally pay my bill. Let's see what we got here. Gordon says, tried solo mining Firo today for a few hours, but never hit a block. Went back to ETH. LOL. Yeah, solo mining it's tough. It's a game of chicken, right? Where it's like, all right, who's going to give up first? The network or you? And it's like, bro, the network never sleeps. What do you mean who's going to give up first? This is hard, right? Like it takes nerves of steel. And you got to know for sure you're eventually going to hit that block. So kudos for trying. That's awesome. But let's go over to Team Red and start at the very top of the line, beginning with the 6800 XT and the 5600 XT as a composite score. So let's calculate. And we see Ethereum at the top of the list, $5.44. Conceal second place at $4. Not very attractive there. And Ravencoin at $3.35. Ethereum Classic in a distant fourth. And I am not seeing Ergo on these cards, but this most recent generation or most recent architecture doesn't seem to do quite as well. Go with the Radeon 7, which I think we're going to see a bit more profit. And I think we're going to see a different story. Yep, Ethereum number one at $4.95 and Ergo number two at $3. But it's nowhere close to where it was before. And in my mind, this does validate the midterm strategy that we talked about, that I talked about on the channel a while back, by sticking with Ethereum because you know that profits will stay relatively consistent, or values will stay relatively consistent. So here we are seeing that kind of validated. But Ergo, if you were doing high frequency trading, or if you needed it for something else, or if you wanted to just be involved in that ecosystem, not a bad bet. Not here to tell anybody that they absolutely have to do things one way. But for my part, I think that Ethereum was maybe a better choice for me. What do you guys think? Who here actually mined Ergo? Who here is excited that they did? Who here is won big by mining Ergo when they did? Love to hear your success stories there, guys. I hate sounding all negative all the time. But that's the Radeon 7. Let's go to our Vega 56 entry-level Vega architecture card with HBM2 memory. And it's Ethereum at the top of the list at $2.40 and Ergo at just below $2. Bummer. It's a bummer. Let's see. Skilled Checkmates brings some excellent counterpoint here and says, to me, this drawdown pretty much confirms the completion of a dead cat bounce. Hey, that's a great way to look at it. We'll take a look at the chart as well, and I think your point there is very valid. So we'll see it on the chart for sure. Barry has been mining Ergo, and Gordon has too. MC says still have a rig on it. Let's see. And SG says using my laptop to mine when not in use, hitting 66 mega hash on ETH. Oh, that is awesome. Yeah, sometimes I forget that we've got this really high performance GPUs in a lot of laptops still. It's so cool. All right, so moving from the Vega 56, let's go to our 8 gig Polaris card, the 580. And you guys see this layout? It's just a little bit confusing. Let's go to one unit there, 580. Scroll down. Ethereum, we're doing $1.41. Ethereum Classic, 76 cents. Ravencoin, 58. Yikes. That's, I'm not going to lie, it's just a little bit depressing. That's the word for it. Depression. Depression. All right. Sorry. Depression. Got to finish it, guys. That's the rule of show business. So the 570, there's our 4 gig option. Oh, really? How are you going to do us like that? Nice Hash is in first place. Ravencoin at 62 cents. Ethereum Classic at 69 cents. Finally, some good news. All right, so that's not that bad. Beam Hash is at 50 cents. Ergo 52. Not great, but you know, we're doing a lot more profit earlier on that 4 gig Polaris card. Sucks to suck, but here we are. R9 Fury, first generation HBM card, consumer HBM card. Tell us some good news, and it's Ravencoin at 50 cents and Zono at 57. Ethereum Classic at 40 cents. All right, so it's not awesome, but Flux, let's see, is it 31 cents? And with parallel assets, that might be better, but yikes. Yeah, I don't know how much better. Gallo says, nice hack is a no for me. And you know what? I approve that message. Thank you for sharing. All right. Theory out of the way. R9 380. What do you got here? Bottom of the line for Team Red. Any profits at all? Drum roll. And Ethereum Classic, 24 cents. Guys, we're back to where we were a couple months ago. This is not the worst thing. The R9 380 is an ancient card. The fact that it's making any money at all is still something of a miracle, frankly. It's kind of crazy. So the fact that any of these cards are still in the money, let's just put on our reality goggles here. Make sure we don't get too... don't let our view get too distorted of what's really going on. We're still making money by running GPUs in our mining, like not just in our mining rigs, but in our gaming rigs, in our workstations, maybe at work, you know, with our boss's permission, and everywhere else, by just letting them hash. That's unreal, right? It's unreal. Magical internet money coming from letting your fans blow hard on your GPUs and pointing them at a certain network somewhere around the world, right? A pool somewhere around the world. Crazy times. Even the R9 380 is seeing that profit. Take a look at the cost to mine one full Bitcoin over here on the Brains OS calculator. Take a look at Bitmain S9, our baseline model, and let's bring this power. Oh no! Base rate for break even is 14 cents, so we already know the answer there. Guys, and I've been warning about this for a while. Beware. You might want to rehome your S9. You might want to look for co-location. If you can find 5 cent power, maybe do that while you find a new home for it. Or, you know, I don't know, make a friend in Venezuela or make a friend in El Salvador and find somebody who has fully state subsidized power or gets free hydroelectric somewhere. You know, be a blessing in someone's life. Maybe you can do that too. So it's another option. I'm being very, very serious here. You might even be able to write it off at the end of the year. So be pretty cool. Let's take a look at 8 cent power here, though, on the S9, and that ought to do it. Alex says, mind your biz, I have my Dragon Mine T1 mining with full solar power setup. That is awesome. Well done. That's super cool. Yeah, Dragon Mint. Thank you. Yes, Dragon Mint. Yeah, Kyle Rosa. Mini Snoda. All right. Guys, we got way too many verbal jokes, way too many inside jokes going. It's hilarious though. So cost to produce 1 Bitcoin at 8 cents a power is 24.6. Still not terrible, but you guys have heard me say before, there's always the possibility that we can see further downside in this market. It's totally possible we can see Bitcoin hit that level before we go skyrocketing back up to whatever the conclusion, the finality of this bull market is. So just be aware, even $24,000 Bitcoin might not be the price that you're very happy about in a little while. Maybe. Let's move to our MicroBT WhatsMiner M20S, far more efficient model and at the same price for power, 8 cent power. We're doing 14.1. That, ladies and gentlemen, makes some sense to me, just a little bit. So let's keep that in mind right there. And the break-even price is 24 cents, so we know we can do 14 cents without losing our shirts. Miningpoolstats.stream. Let's just take a quick look. Looks like the hash rate for Ethereum has gone up. The hash rate for Bitcoin has gone up. Participation in mining is up. Although the difficulty adjustment for Bitcoin will not hit for a little while longer, right? Bitcoin doesn't know that it's been struck, you know, a pretty gnarly financial blow by this group out in Beijing. So we'll see what happens when it finally kind of wakes up and the difficulty adjustment happens. Let's find out, because mining is up. We'll see. Some Goblin loser, I don't know, says, I am depressed that I am still a poor person. And MC says, don't say that, Goblin. Well, you know, I have to agree with MC. You're only poor if you let them take away your, take away your spirit. You're only poor if you let them take away your soul. Till that's gone, right? Like, you can turn it around. And we see you, some Goblin loser. We see you. They haven't taken your spirit yet. You're in the right place, man. Stick around. It'll get better. So that's mining pool stats.stream. Take a look at our portfolios, guys. Real quick, GPU portfolio, looks like our 24-hour change, we're down 13%. That bodes ill. And total P&L is down just under 4%, to 3.5%. So not the worst thing ever. And let's just keep our reality goggles on here, guys. We started with $1,000 in all of these portfolios, and yeah, it's a red candle kind of day. Everything's down. But look at all these assets that have stayed above the profit mark since we made this portfolio. Everything all the way down here to Zano, right? So Conceal in the profit, Conflux, RenBTC, Ethereum, Ravencoin, Real Currency, Ergo, and Flux. All these great cryptocurrencies that are still in the money based on that acquisition time of May 26th. Our biggest loser right now, though, is Wimblecoin. It is, it's also having a red candle kind of day. And Haven, down bad too. Down below $5 again. I still think that Haven may be mispriced, so we'll see about that. But all the rest kind of down a bit more than I suspected, than we all expected they would be today. Go to hard drive mining portfolio. Let's see. Kyle Rosa brings up a really great point here. Says, read Rich Dad Poor Dad. Yes, Robert Kiyosaki. It's phenomenal. And you didn't hear it from me, but alrighty, let's do this. I'm not gonna show anything live here, though. It's a surprise. It's a surprise. And copying a link address. And I'm leaving that in a live chat. That one's for you. That one's for you, some Goblin. And I can't show what I just looked up, but you guys can see it. And I recommend that you open it up in an application called FreeTube, or you use NewPipe on your phone, and you click the little button that looks like a downward arrow, and you keep that on your phone at all times and listen to the whole thing. All right, so hard drive mineable portfolio, very top of the list. Made Safe Coin, it's still in the black. Same with storage. Everything else, oh nope, and Filecoin, everything else is down in the dumps. Down in the dumps. Siacoin, Signum, and Chia. Chia is back down below the $200 mark, but I think it's going to be fine. It did a pretty crazy little bounce right there, dead cat bounce. Somebody's trying to manipulate it now. Now that there are enough people who are like, oh, gosh darn that guy, Seth, I've got some Chia and I don't want to be wrecked, but I'm wrecked anyway. So I'm sorry. I'm making fun of somebody in the audience right now. I know I am, and I'm sorry. That was so bad, and I feel bad because it was wrong. Guys, sorry. Sometimes in the little like characterizations, I get carried away. But the point is, that looks like manipulation. I'm going to use the M word on that one. It doesn't look right. It just doesn't look right. Seriously, that looks wrong, right? It's like, no, we can still do it. I'm a real coin. Like, boom. Being punted by the market. Boom. Aye. So anyway, Gordon's like, hey, man, stop it. Yeah. So yeah, seriously though, guys, as you know, like I'm happy to see you guys lock in profits. I'm happy to see you guys sell at the right times, right? And peg profits at the right times. And I am sad to see this particular project get hurt so badly, because I think it's got a brilliant future ahead of it if they keep on developing. So there's that. Hard drive mining, go to CPU mining and take a look at our portfolio here. Still a red day, 12% down, but total P&L is up 20%. So it's not terrible. Gordon says Bram was accumulating. Maybe, right? Maybe. Let's see. Raptorium is still up above $1,700 mark. Epic Cash above the $1,700 mark. Monero down below our break-even point. Same with Veriscoin and WowNero. WowNero is only down by about 18%. So it's not that bad. It really isn't that bad. So let's see. Some Goblin loser is, working in a cash crop industry. But yeah, it can be tough. Here's the thing, man. I have a got a contact in LA that's been asking me to take a look at a product, right? An oil and gas separated product, an oil separated product from your crop. And they started at the wrong time, man. It's very easy, even with crops or even with businesses where you think it's just a no-brainer. Very easy to hit the market at the wrong time, or in the wrong way, or with not the right amount of marketing, or marketing to the wrong people. Like, it's not always easy, but yeah, you're in the right place here. Oh man. Okay. So we got some comments coming in that I'm not going to repeat because it just sounds like shilling. I mean, I'm sure you're not, but it's what it comes across as. So I can't repeat that. Sorry. So moving from CPU mining portfolio to the ASIC mining portfolio, we got our 24-hour change at 12% down, total P&L negative 12%. Looks like that GMT token that we put in the number into this portfolio is still performing okay, but it's not great, right? It's not immune to this downward trend, but it's still $2,500. Bitcoin still above our break even. Everything else is down below. Biggest loser is Pirate Chain at almost 50% down. So if you fancy yourself some Pirate Chain, some R on sale, ya like sales? Shiver me timbers, put up the sales. 17% off all week. Yep, there it is. If you like them, come and get them. That's our ASIC mining portfolio, FPGA mining portfolio. Let's see what we got here. Looks like we got one that is above the break-even line and it is staying in the green. The 7-day trend for one Cadena is staying nice. And I say that, like a 1990s skater. Nice. So 11% up for this week. Gordon Murray, looks like they all caught scurvy today. Yep. Get them some onions. Get these boys some onions, some scallions. Yar. So down at the bottom of the list, 0x Bitcoin doing what 0x Bitcoin does, but a little less so recently because it's being just, we got to stop using and abusing this poor coin, right? Like, I think since we started paying attention to that on this show, somebody started writing more bots. They're like, oh, this is funny. And they're just destroying this coin. It's hilarious. So yeah, FPGA mineable coins doing a very interesting dance right now. And it really is. It's only been Cadena that's been in the black since we started that portfolio in that way. Proof of stake smart contract platforms. Here's where we saw big money come in. We saw big pumps from May 26th onward. And now, even in the midst of this correction, like 30% down in a week, we're still seeing a portfolio that includes Terra up by a significant margin. With $1,000 put into that portfolio, you'd have over 3,600 still, even after an incredibly bloody week like this week, with 30% drawdown in 7 days. That's crazy. But that's the market that we're in right now. Solana back on top at 3,800 from that initial paper trade that we did. And then Phantom at just under 3,000 from the initial trade. Looks like our break-even point after we go through this list of Cosmos, Wax, Cardano, Polkadot, Tron, and Ethereum is Kusama. The line in the sand is between Ethereum and Kusama. I didn't expect to see Kusama below Ethereum again. I thought it would stay above, but there it is. Binance Coin, Chainlink, Neo, Zilliqa, EOS, Polygon down in the dumps. Kind of sad to see it. And then ICP. I don't think it belongs there with Internet Computer. But Internet Computer being down to about almost 70% down from when we put that entry into the portfolio, that doesn't shock me. Not very much at all. Okay, going into our most pumpiest of portfolios. Oh, you know what? I didn't actually take a look at our 24-hour and our total P&L on smart contracts. Our 24 hours negative 17, but our total P&L we're still up by 46% overall. It's a great portfolio, guys. It's been very drawdown resistant, doing pretty well. And with automated liquidity in 24 hours, we've gone down by 11.5%, but total P&L is still up by 44%. Top of this list has not changed. And if you put $1,000 into Hex on May 26th at 5:30 p.m., this is where you would have ended up. The current coin price is 42 cents, which is, I mean, it's almost crazy, right? Hyperburn is also above the break-even line, as well as Serum, Ampleforth, And that's pretty much it. Even Pancake Swap, which normally has performed pretty well, is not above its break-even line. Biggest loser in this portfolio are Quick and DQuick, down by 60% and 57% respectively. And then Thorchain at 44. Kind of a bummer to see that, guys. A lot of good projects here. Sad to see them really hurting like that. Let's take a quick look at a tool that I think is pretty great. So we take a look at some of these projects and we say like, oh my gosh, look at the coin price. That's really, really rough. And then we look at other projects and say, imagine if that coin occupied, say, like spot number 2 or spot number 3 in the crypto market cap. What would that do to the coin price? Or what would the coin price have to be to get that kind of amazing overall price action? Well, this tool, marketcapof.com, lets us kind of imagine that. So let's take a quick look. So if, for example, we got kind of a decent list here. Let's just pretend like, we'll do something uncontroversial here. Monero. Let's pretend like Monero had the Bitcoin, not the Bitcoin, but the market cap of Cardano. That would mean that each Monero would have, or each Moneros would have to be $3,600. Wow. Yeah, that would mean that it has to have a market cap, like with a market cap of $66 billion, each coin today would look like that. Pretty cool, right? So what coins do you guys want me to show in market cap of? Should I get like, I'll get shieldtastic here. I'll be like, hey, check this out. All right, guys, you got to super chat me. I'm going to put in your favorite coin. All right, shillers, go ahead. I'm not going to do that. Just tell me what you want to see, and we'll go ahead and add that in a minute. Alex Burton says, do sheeb, LOL. Cool. All right, we'll give it oh my gosh. Stop it. All right, there we go. What? It was doing so, it almost understood what I was trying to say there before, and then it totally freaked out. What is wrong with you? All right. Oh my gosh, why is it so dumb? Okay, I'm just going to take out that prompt. And I'm going to scroll through instead manually because I think it's high enough in the stacked rankings that I should be able to find it, right? Of course, right. Where did you go? There it is. What? Okay. So, yeah, with the market cap of Cardano right now, it would have a, oh my gosh, it'd be so teeny tiny. The unit price would still be teeny tiny. That's kind of shocking, to be honest. So I also see Joe is asking about Polygon. Wow, it's got all these pairs. What the heck? What is wrong with this thing? There it is. Okay. There's Polygon. And there you go. Polygon would only have to be just under $10 in order to hit that market cap also. And I think that's actually possible based on what Polygon does, though it would take some crazy pumpamentals like to do a market flippening for Matic right now for Polygon. So, you know, yeah. 22, you got to be subtle about it, man. You got to be subtle about it. I'm just saying, like, you have called your name to my memory in a bad way. Now I know you're shilling. Hold on. I think I had something for that. There you go. Sorry, not sorry. All right. So Alex Burton says Doge. Let's try it. Give Doge a try. But I definitely think it was hilarious. You know, we totally could just do Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. There you go. Just Ethereum with Bitcoin. It would only have to go to 6,800. I think a lot of us can envision seeing that because we've seen Ethereum at over 4,000. This seems almost possible, right? Thinking about it, it doesn't have to flip by multiples upward in order to get to that point. So that's a thought right there. And somebody asked about XRP, which, you know, it's not my baby XRP. Yes. Okay. XRP, and let's go ahead and put that again in the Cardano space right there. XRP would only have to hit $1.42 in order to flip. So, yeah. I mean, here's the thing, guys. I'm not part of the XRP army. I'm not like, I don't have a stake in that thing. I don't have a dog in that fight. But as far as XRP going to $1.42, It's possible, but it would have to go multiples up, right? So possible, but we have to see a lot of change. And we'd also very likely have to see the SEC ensure that they stop picking on XRP. So again, without having a dog in that fight, I'm not going to be like totally anti-XRP. It's not my favorite thing. I don't agree with a lot of the project choices or who they're trying to market to, but I also don't want to see the SEC try to shut them down, right? Like, I'm really unhappy with the way the SEC has been behaving around cryptocurrencies. So just to say, I view this as possible. I do. Alex says, mind your biz. What? Being buddies with BitBoy and you aren't XRP crazy? I know, it's weird, right? But here's the thing. He sees that I'm in the mining community. He's not exactly Polygon crazy either. To each their own, right? Like, and I respect the heck out of what BitBoy does. And yeah, I don't, but it doesn't mean that I share his every opinion about everything, right? So just like you're normal friends. So, or your AFK friends. So let's find some other things here. Cardano, I think, is a really good target because a lot of people are, they're okay with it, but it's a really great top 5 market cap to sort of gun for. So let's see what else we had here. Somebody asked about Doge. Doge. Fine, let's do it. Doge. Come here, Doge. It would literally only have to be 50 cents right now. That's crazy. Holy cow. But here's the thing. It's already got a market cap of $27 billion. What the heck? That just seems unreal, right? Like, I remember when Doge was fractions of a penny. It's pretty crazy. Yeah. So here's the thing, guys. I don't live in Georgia, right? Like, we're not going to hang out or whatever. It's not anytime soon. Not till we go to like a trade show again. Last time that I saw BitBoy in person, right? In person, like high fives. Let's go, like, whatever. Let's go get dinner. It was like 2018. It's been a while. So, man, that's crazy. Yep. Alex says Doge has no mining cap though. Yeah, no, totally. I'm not promoting Doge at all. Not one bit, guys. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that Doge deserves to be a top 5 market cap coin. Somebody's asking about HNT. Looks like it's MC. What the heck? Let's do it. HNT, Helium. It would have to be almost $700 to get to the market cap of Cardano. Let's get just a little bit more. Wow. Yeah, no. Bitcoin, Binance coin. It'd have to get like to Binance's all-time high, I think, in order to do that. And Ian is asking about whether or not I've checked out a certain swap. I don't think I have just yet. Guys, there's so many swaps and AMMs and DEXs that I haven't been able to try out all of them yet. I'm pretty intensely focused on QuickSwap right now. Just because there's so much more to it. It's a lot deeper and it's native to Polygon. So that's kind of why I've been a little more interested in it. But of course, I'm always on the lookout for other swaps and AMMs and DEXs, right? It's great to have more tools, and they're just more tools for us to take a look at. Guys, market cap of, I think, is a great tool as well. So let's check to see what else we can do. So let's just double check here with that market cap of Cardano as the baseline that we're trying to fit this other coin into. And I don't know, let's see what else. What else is tasty here? Tasty goodness. Tasty. Let's see. Litecoin. I choose you. Gotta catch them all, guys. That's crazy. Can you imagine Litecoin with almost $1,000 per coin? Because that's what it would do. At almost $1,000 a coin, it would flip in Cardano. Could totally work. Joe asks about Solana. That's a really good one. I think that is the bajillion-dollar question everybody wants to know. Yeah, Solana at 224. I mean, we were nearly there, right? We were there. So, yeah, here we are. Current market cap at almost $40 billion for Solana. It wouldn't take all that much to get back to that point. Let's go for a more lofty target. Let's go above the Cardano target to Ethereum. I think that is where people who say like, oh, it's an Ethereum killer. This is what you'd have to see for it to flip in Ethereum. You have to see it at over $1,100, and then that market cap, see that, to get it over $300 billion worth of value. And that's not even considering the total value locked. You're also looking at all of USDC, all of USDT, all of Link, all of Aave, all of these other projects, all locked into Ethereum, or at least a large percentage of them locked into Ethereum. That would have to go too. So much bigger story than what we see right here, but still awe-inspiring, right? And then let's see. Oh, shucks. Let's get rid of that. And move from that back to Cardano. Let's throw in ZIL, because somebody asked. ZIL at $5.30. That would take, I mean, almost a miracle right now. You'd have to do a 62x in this market cycle. Yeah, guys, I don't want to be Debbie Downer. I'm not here to pick winners. But let's be real. A 60x on ZIL? I don't know. You tell me. If you have that kind of optimism, share whatever it is that you're having with me, because that's cool. Let's see. Yeah, Gallo says that's a lot of NFT action to flip ETH. Yeah, right. You'd have to go way beyond NFTs. Right? You got to backfill into DeFi so you get all the total value locked. Hexacorn is in the chat saying that'd be nuts. Also says LOL. Well, it begs the question, right? Man, you know, it'd be fun to see. Oh dear, I'm going to be accused of shilling by someone. Stop before you accuse me of shilling. This is just a tool, and I'm just a messenger. Dang! Ooh, that is funny. Okay, I'm going to pretend. So as it is, apparently, Hex has already surpassed the market cap of ADA. So instead of Cardano, we're going to go with Ethereum. And apparently, to surpass the market cap of Ethereum, Hex only needs another 42% upward growth. It doesn't even need to double right now in order to flip Ethereum. Bruh. Wow. Oh my gosh. That's pretty killer. So I've got to say, guys, like, for me, without trying to pick winners here, because I think that right now, Polygon's doing a bang up job of giving options for both a side chain, a proof of stake side chain, as well as the Plasma chain, in order to give options for Ethereum decongestion, right? That's the stated intention. That's the stated goal of Pulse Chain. They say they're not meant to be a competitor to Ethereum. With Polygon, with Matic, they're definitely not a competitor to Ethereum. They don't really intend to be their own sovereign layer one chain. They're a side chain that will always be in service to Ethereum, even as it scales into proof of stake. That's what their intent is. And right now, currently doing 7,000 TPS on that chain, Matic does a really good job. Polygon does a really good job of that. So I know there are hit pieces out there. There are people who do a lot of FUD on Polygon, and there's some reasons to be concerned about it too. I do get that. But as far as it actually working, like, it actually works. That's why Ethermine pays out on Polygon. That's why Coinbase now supports Polygon. That's why all these other services, major entrenched services within cryptocurrency, support Polygon openly, right? Like, they're not going to begrudgingly support it in the future. So I like that. But let me just throw this out here. With pumpamentals like this, do you really think that Pulse Chain will not succeed on some level? Because that's where I'm like, okay, like, I get it. I see the use case. If all the people who have this coin are saying, hey, I want my own sovereign blockchain to operate this token on, it could be that Pulse Chain gets valued very highly very quickly. So I see the point there. Just throw it there. Throw that out there. Okay. And let's see. Gallo's asking about AVAX. Okay, we'll take a look. And Joe is saying, I use Polygon. Like, use it. I'm with you. I used it today. I mentioned before. Yeah, I used it earlier today, and dang, Avalanche, you got to do almost a 30x to get to the Ethereum market cap right now. Yikes. That would be intense. And with the tokenomics, that would mean over $1,500 per coin. This is a fun tool, isn't it, guys? So I actually need to cut this tool short because I've got to, like, finish up round up the last portion of the live stream so I can call it a night. But yikes. Isn't this fun? I should leave a link in the description, but for right now, I'm going to leave a link in the live chat so that you guys have it right there. So it's just marketcapof.com. It's a lot of fun. A whole lot of fun. Gallo. Elon Musk announces meeting with Hex devs. That'd be funny. It'd be really, really funny. But let's just take a look at the market. Take a look at the Bitcoin chart. First off, again, guys, these chopsticks, every single time I'm like, oh, look, we're in a channel. And it does exactly not what I think it's going to do. Right. So we saw a reversal. I think I called that out the last time that we had these on screen. We saw that reversal, started to move downward, popped up, and now we are, wicking all the way down. So I think we've stabilized, but we wicked all the way down through this channel to touching 40K. And yeah, we're holding it at 42. Yikes. So it's pretty crazy. Some Goblin Loser says, chopsticks. I know, chopsticks. It's like that movie Castaway. Wilson, chopsticks. No, I didn't mean it. I'm sorry, chopsticks. We love you. So we probably need to start using some additional tools, but I mean, I don't think we could have planned on this. And as far as there being any kind of like fib retracement levels on here, whatever else, like, I don't know if, this stuff, I don't know if they're going to help us all that much. Maybe they will, though, and maybe I should do a little more work there. So just throwing it out there. I won't say I'm not going to get into putting fib levels on this chart. But guys, that is our show for the night. I appreciate you being subscribed, being here, sharing this video, clicking the thumbs up, hitting the subscribe button. If you're not subscribed, I mean, why not? It's fun. It's free. And we're having a lot of fun in the chat too. Chat is out of control. It's out of control. So you should be here subscribed so you can chat too. Guys, appreciate you being here. You're the reason I make this media. I love your face. Remember to stay private and mind your biz. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of the video. If you want to be notified of videos like this in the future, first off, click subscribe, press the bell icon. Additionally, you can sign up for the Mind Your Biz email newsletter. That'll give you exclusive access to certain freebies, notifications for deals within the cryptocurrency mining space, as well as some of our flash sales for merchandise, which you can buy with cryptocurrency. That's right. It's the only cryptocurrency merch that you can buy with cryptocurrency. We practice what we preach. As always, thank you so much for watching. You're the reason I make this media. I love your face, and I will see you in the next one.